seen the videos and I've read about it and so on, but doing it for real is different.
I didn't know exactly what to experience and what to expect, but it was an interfaith event and I love interfaith. I'm very passionate about it and I said yes, and here I am.
When I went to write something, I had 3 photos. I thought for a long time, and I had some roomy poetry, and I had all kinds of things in my head that would talk about sending someone out to sea. But in the end, I felt the words weren't that important. And so I just said, thank you, and we love you.
My mom was the one that I think did much to mold me. So this gave me an opportunity to get back to those important lessons that my mother taught me. Unconditional love, inclusivity, and give thanks.
I ended up writing on the lantern a prayer that we say at the end of every Sikh service, which is Nanak Nam Chardikala Tere Bane Sarvat Bala. And what that means is, I hope that we can have God's grace and protection on all of mankind.
Personally, this is the first time I've been back here to where I was born in 65 years. And as I was working on the lantern, I was thinking about my parents and they're living here when I was born, and so reflecting and being very grateful for them.
My wife and I were led to the table where we could prepare our lantern, and we were able to look up a short prayer in Arabic that is used in the Islamic tradition, which is a prayer asking for safety and peace in one's life, and in this life and in the life to come.
In the beginning, going in the tent and getting ready for the lantern was an easy process because I already had in mind what I'm going to put. My intention was to do it for the people who died in the ocean in Syria. Because I'm going to be in the ocean and they drowned in the ocean, so I wanted to dedicate that to them.
Seeing Her Holiness was very moving to me.
She, I think, really, truly radiates benevolence.
I felt a real silence inside, a quietness inside when Her Holiness spoke. And that's what I felt. I felt alone in some ways because it was so silent, and yet a part of a huge energy that was emanating from her and from all the people that were there.
You may now float your lanterns.
On Saturday, the day we arrived, it was the beginning of the month of fasting for us. So Ramadan is a very special month to me specifically. Nighttime is me and God. So I don't go out, never been out for the last 40 years of my life. So I'm always in praying or being in seclusion, especially in the last 10 days. So this trip was completely a different perspective, because being here in the beginning of Ramadan was a different kind of spirituality. So I felt like I'm gonna receive something different this year, and I did. I felt like I have the biggest problem in life, but yeah, to me it is. My country has been destroyed. We lost a lot of people, but this matter. They lost too. Seeing those people having their lantern, saying goodbye again to their loved one. No matter who we are, no matter where we're coming from, no matter who we lost, we're all the same.
I think there's this general desire to find a quiet spot, even if it's just a foot or two, to lay the lantern onto the water and see it begin to move and perhaps give it a little bit of a push. But I think in that moment, your focus tends to exclude everything beyond the lantern, and that becomes the center of your consciousness. Once I pushed it away, the rest of the world kind of came back in, and I felt connected to the experience that everybody else was having as well.
The sense I had was I didn't want to let go. I just wanted to, I didn't want to set it down, so I just kept walking into the water and to hold on to this lantern. And there is a sense of letting go and letting them move on to where they need to go, and also me, to release me from being in that grief. I felt that transition. It was quite beautiful.
In the Sikh faith, we talk a lot about detachment from your ego, from worldly attachments. Part of the beauty of the experience was that letting go and surrendering to the experience. And I think that's what gives some of it meaning, to me at least, was that process of letting go.
After releasing the lantern and coming back and starting to feel the magnitude with all that was around me and the masses of people that were there, and the feeling, it was that good news. It was that good news of hope that was pervasive.
My dad's ashes were scattered into the ocean here when he died many years ago. And so that was very much, especially in being in the water, that was very present. So complicated personal emotions preparing for this that I have not been in touch with. So in a way I was surprised that it was as emotional as it was for me.
We feel that there is a power in what we call the Sangat, and that word gets translated as congregation, but it doesn't really mean congregation of people of your own faith in a particular house of worship. It means the community of like-minded individuals. What I found from the lantern ceremony is that feeling of Sangat, or community, with the positive energy that 50,000 people with good intentions are having together, can be so, so powerful.
teaching. I think the Lantern Floating Ceremony is a wonderful example of showing those of the Muslim faith that there are these paths that are in parallel with the path that one might be on, and that there's value in those paths. This kind of event certainly reinforces that, and I think it helps a person of any religious tradition mature or evolve in their thinking about spirituality and the meaning of life, and they're thinking about how they can connect with other human beings.
That notion of letting go is something that's in every religion. In Sikhism and Buddhism, you talk about non-attachment. That's a powerful symbol in this ceremony, that all the people there together experience grief, but also let go of it just a little bit, and it begins to move toward more compassion, more understanding.
It was a model of what is possible, that you can start, doesn't matter. The analogy of dropping a stone in a pond and the ripple effect. And this ripple has taken, and I'm experiencing the ripple 19 years out. But from that to here, gives a marvelous model for hope for the future.
And there's an urgency in the world right now where this event has never been more important for the world, for our country, for the families who are grieving for suicide victims, for victims of Syria and other countries with all that they're going through.
I'm part of this group. I'm part of their sorrow and sadness and feeling. I'm one of them and they are one of me. So it's personal and it's a group. And that's what I said, it's a group session of healing session.
I felt like God fulfilled my wish, and I became part of it. So that's gonna resonate a lot in me and in my daughter.